Hi, this is from Kendra from Pencil and Pigment, and today I just wanted to finish up an illustration and talk a little bit about stuff. Just say hi. So this is from yesterday. I'm doing like Animalist, Smogist, but I noticed I wasn't done with it. And for me personally, when I'm trying to figure out if a painting or a drawing or an illustration is done, I step away. I literally step away. So sometimes I hold it at a distance. I'll leave the room for 20 minutes, go focus my eyes on something else, a book, a newspaper, something of different depth of field. And then I'll have the painting like propped up. So when I walk into the room, it's the first thing that I see. And I'll go, oh, okay, that looks a little too asymmetrical, or that's directing my eye not towards the main subject when I want it to, or the coloring is a little off here and I'm seeing a blend that isn't as seamless as it could be. Other times when I want to know if something I'm working on is done, I will take a photo of it and just set my sketchbook or whatever aside. And then an hour later, I will look at the photo. And sometimes seeing what you've drawn, like 1 inch by 1 inch or 3 centimeters by 3 centimeters, sometimes looking at it at a different proportion, like on a camera or through a different lens, literally, you can see, oh yeah, so for this one, I don't have enough middle range tones. I sort of have, yes, I've done colored pencil and micron pen, but I don't have enough middle range tones between my pen. Sorry, my cat's open doors. It's a thing they like to do because they think they're funny. So I took a picture of this and posted it on my Instagram yesterday, and I was like, looks good. And 10 people were like, yeah, that's all right. And then today I looked at it and I was like, wow, it really just looks too simple. It just needs more texture. It needs more tonal range. So that's really all I'm doing. All I'm going to be doing for the next 10 minutes, just adding some more tonal value, some more middle range. You want a contrast, you want some blends. Sometimes you know you're done with a project when you just can't look at it ever again. And I get that way with my publications. Sometimes I have to take a step back for like 6 months because I just can't look at it to finish it, to publish it. And then I'm like, okay, this is what I need to do. And sometimes I just need to think about it, you know? Sit in a body of water or rest and relax in some of my favorite places. And a funny idea will hit me and go, oh, that would make a great title. Or, ooh, wouldn't that be cool if I incorporated that idea or color scheme into it? And then that'll help me finish up our project. So sometimes it's just taking a step back. I mean, yes, it helps sometimes to get the opinion of the internet, but that's a double-edged sword. So, and a lot of people on the internet that have the opinions don't really, they may not be artists, they may not be artists in your field, they may not know what goes into such a creation, the time that was spent, or the personal, like maybe you're doing something that's very personal to you and thus changing something they recommend changing isn't ideal. So I sort of refrain from asking others unless it's a commission for someone. If I'm doing a graphic design, my design rates are, 5 mock-ups and then 2 edits, and anything above is extra time, and I start billing by hour, not by the project, just to help people that are indecisive. But generally, I get the gist of what people want, and that's fine. But for my own personal projects, sometimes I just can't tell. It looks fine because I'm 6 inches away, And then I post it online, and I'm like, oh no, you can't tell at all. That's really boring, or you know what that needs? More middle range value. So that's what I'm doing with this. I'll do something for day 3, which is, it's the 3rd of August. I really like doing drawing challenges. That's kind of my favorite thing. When you're in the middle of one, you can't see the progress, and then by the end of the month, you're like, wow, I filled an entire sketchbook. Excuse me. Have I mentioned things are blooming? Oh, excuse me. Any allergy sufferers out there feeling my pain? There's nothing worse than sneezing on an illustration. I didn't, that's gross, but could you imagine? Especially during like a pandemic. Woof. That's taken this video into a whole different direction nobody saw coming. I apologize. Anyway, I want to work on this neck area a little bit for more mid-range tones as well, and I'm just kind of stippling and adding little dot texture, and there's tons of ways of adding texture. You can do little lines, you can do crosshatch, which are lines of opposing angles on top of each other. You could do little dots, which is called stippling. You can do gradation of value, which is just shading from dark to light, with like colored pencils and watercolors and things. But this is what I'm doing for this one. I don't know. I'm sort of doing a different style for each drawing, and I didn't kind of set out to do that for this drawing challenge, but on day one, our twins stepped on a ground yellow jacket nest, and that turned into a whole thing. Our twins are 10, and they were blackberry picking while my husband and I were doing some yard work, and yeah, so that became a what can I do in 5 minutes illustration, which I used the Pentel Feud, which is this really cool brush pen, and they have different cartridges that screw into the bottom. Because I never know. Like, you think you know how much ink a pen has, and then you set out to do a project. Right now I'm working in a sketchbook that's A4, so it's about 9 by 12. It's rather large, but I had a bunch of A5s and I was looking at them and I just wasn't feeling it. And you gotta go with what you feel, otherwise you won't stick with it. You'll get bored or discouraged. So I've been working bigger. When I work small, I tend to need to get my glasses out and magnify every little detail. But yep, that's where I'm at today. It's kind of a draw with me and kind of a conversation of tips and tricks. How do you know when your illustration is done? How do you know you've added all the ranges and all the colors? And I'm feeling very Lisa Frank with this for some reason. Or like maybe I just need to throw some confetti around and call it a party. I don't know. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Don't step on yellow jackets. It makes them angry and they sting multiple times with the most stingy of all the bugs. I don't know why. There's such an attitude. Anyway, my twins are fine. They're pretty rugged. Like my daughter was stung the most. She was stung 5 times in one leg and she's just like, oh, I thought it was a blackberry branch holding onto my pants, so I went to change my pants. Yeah, those are my kids. Meanwhile, mom's over here polka dotting a jaguar. So, I mean, what even is August? What is 2021? I don't know. I'll talk to you all tomorrow. Bye.